things just took a sickening turn as we approach Week 6 against the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football. Some injury updates that are not pleasant. Welcome to Bears Digest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dylan Guinzy. Thank you for joining me once again. If you have not subscribed already, please make sure to do so. 94% of our watchers the last 28 days are not subscribed, so please be sure to hit that bell to stay up to date on all things Bears, rumors, news, anything that comes out to us, just like what we're talking about today. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you see behind me, Bears versus Commanders is here this week. This is a massive game, a lot of different storylines, implications, things like that for this game. Again, I always like to hear from you guys in the comments, so please let me know down below what you guys think about keys to the game, score predictions, everything like that. I'm always curious, interacting with you guys as well in the chat. But today, guys, what we're going to discuss is some new injury updates here that have came out the last couple of days, and especially today, that point to a pretty big position, especially in a game like this where it could be close coming down to the end. A big position that might not be playing this week, and a specific player. So we'll get into that here right away, and that guy is Cairo Santos. So Cairo Santos has been dealing with a quad injury. Don't ask me where he got that from. I have no idea. Must have been sore or something happened in the Raiders game, I would imagine. But he's been dealing with a quad injury, and he was not out there on the practice field on Monday. And at that point, or Tuesday, sorry. And at that point, I just thought it was more precautionary, veteran day off, whatever. But now it's Wednesday, and he is still not out there, not participating in any fashion. And it's looking a little bit bleak for Cairo Santos with the quad injury. Cairo Santos has been a kicker for us that has, gotten a lot of scrutiny just because of his, leg strength and us not being able to kick in advantageous positions that a lot of other teams are just sitting there lining up and kicking from 57 to 60 every time without budging. We tend to go for it more, and we tend to punt as well because Cairo Santos doesn't have the leg. But inside of 45 yards, the guy's been money his entire career, and especially with the Bears. And that would be a big miss, especially somebody that is familiar with the team, familiar with all the players around him, the long snapper, the holder, everything like that. Cairo Santos is familiar. If he is not in, that would be a massive, massive blow for the Bears team. We're going to talk about his stats, what Ben Johnson had to say, as well as his potential replacement for Monday as well. So stay tuned for that. We will head on over to Ben Johnson's press conference from here today. Talking about Cairo Santos. Yeah, we will see as we go through the week as to how he's feeling and looking. Ben Johnson on kicker Cairo Santos, who did not practice Tuesday. Johnson said they are taking it day to day. So with this, that doesn't look good, right? And if you listen to the press conference, if you guys haven't already, you can go check that out. He did not sound too confident with Cairo Santos playing, and especially kickers, you tend to, especially leg injuries, you tend to hold them off a little bit more, right? I think the Giants kicker, forgot his name, maybe Greg Joseph or something like that the other week, had a hammy that was just a little bit tight before the game, and they said, nope, you're not playing at all. And they ran without a kicker that entire game. He did come in later and attempt an extra point, I believe, or a very short field goal, and he got it through the uprights and limped his way off the field. But teams take huge precautions with their kickers, and it really affects the decision-making during the game as well, and can kind of key in the other team as well. If he's out, you can kind of tell what we're going to do in certain moments, right? So missing Cairo Santos would be huge. I know he's not the best kicker in the world, but he is money, accurate, inside 45 yards, and things like that. And obviously, perfect on the year in extra points, as you guys can see in the graphic. 6 of 7 on field goals, 85%. You extrapolate that throughout a whole season, that's a very, very good year for any kicker. So that is good. He's been money. He's been with us for a long time. So we want Cairo Santos to play because I feared that this game could come down to a field goal. I also think it could be a blowout. I really think there's two options here with this game. I think the Bears come out of the bye and they're completely sloppy and they get blown out by a good Commanders team, or it is an instant classic game and it comes down to a field goal. late possessions, kind of like it did last year. Hopefully more offense involved. But I think that's kind of the two situations that we could have in this game. And I'm not feeling good about it if Cairo Santos isn't involved there for a short chip shot for the win or something like that. So we will talk now about the replacement for Cairo Santos, who was just signed the other week, who we had made a video about, and that is Jake Moody from the 49ers. He got released by them after a 1-for-3 start from field goals here this year. Kind of got into his head a little bit, and the Bears signed him immediately after. We made a video on this and the importance of this a couple of weeks ago when he was signed. And the importance was not about Jake Moody as a player and his talent or anything like that. It was more so that he's got a big leg, one, and two, it provides competition for Cairo Santos. The one thing that it was not, or I was not envisioning, is Cairo Santos gets hurt the week of the game, and then they have to throw Jake Moody in. That was not the vision of that signing or why it was important, but now it's becoming important for a different reason where they might have to use him for the full-time kicking position or full-time kicker here against the Commanders on Monday Night Football. And if you're just looking at a pure accuracy standpoint and how Moody has been, not looking great, especially in recent history. He has kind of gotten his head a little bit. You know, with kickers, it is a lot of a mental game. It is more kind of like golf in that aspect where you can really get in your own head and you can kind of just get the yips and just start missing. And it's not really about talent after that. And it's really just up in the noggin. So hopefully Jake Moody, if he's thrust into the role, he's ready to go and he's ready to rock and compete. And we really hope so because the way it's going here, the injury report finally comes out here tomorrow for the Monday night game. And if Cairo Santos is another DNP on Thursday, I would imagine he is leaning to not playing. That is meaning he's not getting any kicks this week. He's not getting any practice in. I think that they hold him out at that point. And the way you look at it this year, the kicker injuries have just been insane. Whether it's the block kicks and guys are getting hit off that, guys tweaking things. The Colts kicker, Spencer Schrader, just tore his ACL and MCL last game, and he's out for the season. So, look, I think the Bears made a good move in picking up somebody behind Cairo because a lot of teams are kind of screwed at this point now with some of the injuries that they got going on. And I think Moody is, a serviceable guy to have in the room, but I don't know if I expect him to perform at the level that we may need him to. But Moody does have some good, repertoire moments in his career. 2024 last year is when he kind of started the downturn at 70%, 24-34. You could see Shanahan and the 49ers stopping the trust his way, and he started getting frustrated with, how Moody was playing and kind of getting in his head. They kind of knew it at that point. 2023 had a good year, 21-25, 84%. And, he had a pretty good year that year. That's kind of what Cairo Santos is on track for as well, sitting at that 85 mark. Obviously, a long season of play, but Moody has had some bright spots and bright moments, no doubt about it. In that game last year against the Jets, he went 6 for 6, basically won the game for them, and had a variety of different distances, 2 over 50 and 1 45 plus as well. So he's got it in him, man. It's all mental. It's not the talent. It's not the leg talent. Obviously, he's in the NFL, and he's good enough to be an NFL kicker, so he can do it if that moment does come to him. One quick note, too, that I saw was the Super Bowl that they played. Jake Moody broke the record for longest field goal in a Super Bowl game. 90 seconds later, Harrison Butker broke it with a 57-yarder. I just thought that was kind of funny regarding that Super Bowl 2 years ago now. And, I thought that was interesting. He does have a leg, right? And that's a big moment. Obviously, that's a big moment for Moody there. So we'll see. I think Cairo Santos is leaning towards not playing, and we'll see how that goes. I think the worst thing that could happen is if you're a Bears fan and he comes out there and we need a couple of field goals in the first half to get us going, or we get a turnover and we need one, and Moody still has the yips and he's missing everything left and right. So gotta hope that Moody is ready to play. I think Cairo Santos is not going to be in there for us. So let me know what you guys think down below about the kicking situation and what we have going forward here for the Commanders game. But as always, we're going to be here with the injury report tomorrow and all the news and updates that do come out before the game. And thank you guys for joining Bears Digest once again. As always, bear down.